Hello there once again, Talking Fight fans. Glad you could join us because we've got Neil the Deal in the house. And Neil the Deal is going to continue his series of Bloody Knuckles. What do you got for us tonight?
What do we got for us tonight, Graham? What do we got for us? Well, we got a pile of snow, a heck of a lot of cold. Are the Leafs playing? Are they playing this weekend or are they playing Monday, I hear?
They're playing Montreal tomorrow night.
Oh, Montreal. Oh, great. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you hear about the two guys that Montreal's looking at picking up?
No.
Yeah, I saw their shirts the other day. They were in the minors. One said French, the other one said fries.
All right, get on with boxing.
I know, we're just playing around. Okay, guys, thanks for coming out. Nice to see you, Graham. Thanks for having me out. Yeah, we had an interesting week with this bleeder thing going on. So I don't know. We didn't really plan on that. It just kind of went that way. But I want to thank you guys all again for coming out, guys. Amanda, how are you? Nice to see you. Amber, any of my friends out there. Andy, nice to see you, buddy. So listen, basically what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a guy named Ezzard Charles. Okay, Graham? Ezzard Charles. He's a classic fighter from way back. I mean, I didn't see him fight live, obviously, because I wasn't even around. But I have his name. He's been mentioned with some of the best in the world in the heavyweight division. He was technically a light heavyweight. He wasn't quite a heavyweight, but back then, I guess they just had to fight in the heavyweight division being light heavyweight, right? They didn't really have that division built yet, or I guess, or something. So he came out. His nickname was the Cincinnati Cobra. All right. The Cincinnati Cobra. So this individual, that's a pretty cool name. Although the funny part about it is he's not from Cincinnati, but he grew up in Cincinnati. So let's just get into who he is, what he did, what he's all about, who he fought, etc. And we'll pay a little bit of hey, R.I.P. there, Ezzard. You were one of the best in the world. Thanks a lot for all your time, buddy. God bless you. So here we go. That's Ezzard Charles, born July 7th, 1921, in Lawrenceville, Georgia. That's Lawrenceville, Georgia. He died May 28th, 1975, at age 56 years old. So he was pretty young when he passed away. Apparently, he got Lou Gehrig's disease, Graham. Lou Gehrig's disease. I don't know much about it, but I know it's some sort of it's not very good to be getting that, like obviously. So he ended up passing away very prematurely. You know what I mean? Very prematurely. All right. So he was a. This is really interesting, Graham. Can you hear me okay tonight?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't hear a peep over there, so I never know what you're doing, right? I don't know. So, anyways,
I'm listening.
All right, cool. All right. So, the interesting part about Ezzard was, and I had no clue. Again, obviously, he started his amateur career in the featherweight division. So if you look at this logically, then he went from the featherweight division all the way to the heavyweight division. Like, now there's a jump in weight class. That's like 100 pounds or something, you know. So this is apparently what he did when he was younger, right? So he's really known around the world as one of the best pound for pound fighters of all time. All right. So everybody who's in the boxing world that's been around, the old timers will tell you he was a fantastic fighter, and he is ranked #1 pound for pound in the world all time. Graham, he's the actual #1, which I did not know. I do know. So I checked out a bunch of his fights today, and yeah, he has this really slick defense. Like his defense is really slick. He had a point on, like punching accuracy was point on. Foot speed was amazing, and his ring rate or his work rate was just amazing. Like in each fight, you could see he was just he's pushing the pace. So he wasn't one to sit around, right? He just went at guys, and he was very successful at it. So he was ranked by BoxRec. I'm just going to tell you guys, in December 2020, Graham. So that's like what? Just last year, December 2020.
Yeah.
That was when he was given the greatest pound for pound boxer of all time. It was like last year. So that's pretty good. And he won more heavyweight fights than any other heavyweight champion in the history of heavyweights. So he won more fights than any other heavyweight. So that's another interesting one. So we'll talk a little bit about his amateur career here. So he represented the United States in 1939 in Chicago with he was the Golden Gloves champion, gold medal winner in the middleweight division. All right, which is interesting. So he's gone from featherweight to middleweight, and then he went from middleweight to heavyweight. So all right. So then in 39 as well, he went, because he won that, the regional, Chicago was his regional. Then he went to the nationals, and he won the U.S. National Championship, gold medal, 1939 in San Francisco in the middleweight division again. So in 39, he was a middleweight. So he literally started his amateur career in 38, and he was a featherweight. And then he went into the middleweight division with his amateur career, and he ended up 42-0. So he did pretty good, as an amateur. He did, he was 42-0, and the year before that, in 38, when he was the featherweight, he won some title. I've never heard of this before, Graham. I don't know if you guys have. If anybody's heard of this, guys, let me know. It's the Diamond Belt Middleweight Championship of the world. Diamond Belt.
Never heard of it.
No, I have never heard of the Diamond Belt. So, guys, if you guys got any info about the Diamond Belt Heavyweight Championship, we'll check that out too. Actually, it was the Middleweight Championship. So, that's interesting stuff. I mean, what the heck? So he turned pro 1940, and he had a total fight record of 121 fights, which is a lot of fights, Graham. 121 fights. He won 95 fights. And he had 52 KOs out of those 95 wins, and 25 losses, and 1 draw. So his knockout percentage was 43%. All right. So 43% is really not that bad. It really is not that bad. So anything over 50, if you get into 60, then it's really good. Anything above 60 is super good. So he turned pro. He started off 17-0, right off the hop, and then the war started. So he was drafted and served in the military. He wasn't able to fight for a few years because he went to the U.S. military, and he came out of there. And right away, the first fight he had when he came out was like the big one that he had. He won the vacant National Boxing Association heavyweight title when he outpointed basically a majority decision Jersey Joe Walcott on June 22nd, 1949. So he basically, went to war, came back out of war, and his first fight back, he's fighting for the vacant title, right? It's freaking, I don't know. So in 1950, he had to fight his boyhood idol, which was Joe Louis, right? So he fought Joe Louis, his idol, and outpointed him as well. He beat Joe Louis.
Wow.
Yeah, he beat Joe Louis, and he literally said it was like a highlight of his career just to be in the ring with Joe Louis. You know what I mean? So he had to fight him. So I guess he did his best, and he did pretty good. He won the fight, right? So he was also had a big bunch of fights against Rocky Marciano. And those were the ones that I watched today. Was one of those. So I watched 2 of them. He fought Marciano twice. I watched them both. And one was at Yankee Stadium, June 19th, 1954. And It was a 15-round majority decision for Marciano. So Charles lost to Marciano. Then they had the rematch. And in the rematch, apparently, this is part of our bleeder segment here, guys, because this was the fight I was watching and looking for. Charles basically split Marciano's nose in two pieces. It kind of went like this. Like right down the middle, it was in two chunks. So I was like, whoa. Like the ref wanted to stop the fight. The corner guys wanted to stop the fight, and Marciano did not want to stop the fight. So they just patched him up, and he ended up knocking Charles out in the 8th round with his actually nose in two pieces, one piece on each side under each eye. It was the weirdest thing. When you watch the fight, you'll be like, whoa, I never knew Rocky Marciano. You know, that was about probably as close as he came to losing. Because, you know, it didn't look good for him when I saw that today. I was like, holy Moses, man. He actually just kept it, you know. He's a tough guy, that Marciano, obviously. 49-0, that's pretty tough, right? So he's also the only man to go 15 rounds with Marciano ever, right? So that in itself is a pretty big accolade to be able to say, yeah, I'm the only guy that was able to handle Marciano for 15 rounds, right? The one time. The other time he got knocked out in the 8th round. Well. So we're moving on to 1968. We were talking about it before. He was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, which is a degenerate nerve thing, I believe. And it's very, 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 very terrible way to actually exist. And it's not good at all. So he was completely disabled, Graham, like completely, and lived in a nursing home from 1968 till his death in 75. So, and he couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything, couldn't talk, couldn't do anything. Poor guy. So, anyways, we'll talk about his awards because we want to talk more about his good things. You know what I mean? The good parts and all the fun stuff and what he did and how they're remembering him in the boxing community. And maybe you guys out there will be remembering him a little bit too. You know what I mean? So he was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1990. And 2002, he was ranked 13th best fighter in the last 80 years. All right, so that's pretty big. Yep. 2006, he was named 11th greatest fighter of all time by Box Research organization, Boxing Research. And 2007, ESPN ranked him 27th greatest all-time heavyweight of all time. They ranked him, I checked out the ranking, Graham. They ranked Ezzard higher than Tyson, Holmes, and Jake LaMotta as far as heavyweights are concerned. Like, right? I was like, whoa, okay. I mean, we weren't around when he was fighting, so we can't really do the, you know, in our minds, we don't really know, you know what I mean? Like, we see Tyson, we see these guys, but we don't see him. So, and 2008 Boxing Magazine rated him the best light heavyweight ever the best light heavyweight. So he was basically, I think, a light heavyweight that was forced to fight in the heavyweight division because, you know, I don't even know if there was there's another question for you guys. Was there a light heavyweight division in 1940? I don't think there was. And Bert Sugar, we always talk about Bert Sugar. We're going to do something on Bert Sugar, Graham. I love that little guy, Bert Sugar. He had the hat, you know, little cowboy type hattish thing and the glasses and the whole deal, right? And he's like a little guy, right? And he had him as the 7th greatest heavyweight of all time, Bert Sugar. Ranked him 7th greatest of all time. And he knows his stuff. Like I keep saying, I watched Bert Sugar since I was 6 or 7 years old. And he was a really good analyst, actually. He really got into it, you know. Very in-depth guy, very in-depth. So, notable fights, guys, for Ezzard, Charles. We talked about him. Charles versus Marciano 1 and 2. The second one is where his nose gets split in two pieces. So if you want to, you know, put the kids to bed early that night, you might want to do that. That's like pretty weird. Ezzard versus Jersey Joe Walcott. Again, he fought him a couple of times. I think 3 or 4 times probably or something. Any of them were really good. I watched a couple of them today. And Charles versus Joe Louis, right? Ezzard Charles versus Joe Louis. I watched that. And that was a great fight right in itself. They were all like 15-round unanimous decisions or split decisions, or all his fights were. He had 52 KOs, but a lot of them, I guess, went to decisions, right? Out of 100, right? So, hey, great career on the guy. He goes down in history as one of the best. Absolutely. No doubt about it. You just never hear about these poor guys anymore. So we're just trying to talk a little bit about some history. I love history, right? It's one of my favorite things in school, history, and gym, sports. So thanks a lot for coming out, guys. Thanks for the likes, the shares, all the subscriptions, all that jazz. And keep them coming. It's been fantastic. Stay warm. Stay safe. Have yourselves a really nice weekend. And we'll see you on Monday, I guess. Will we, Graham?
Correct. Yes.
All right,
Back
guys.
to your normal times. 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Okay. Yep. 7 o'clock Monday. I'll be here. Hopefully you will be too. And we'll see you then. Take care of yourselves. Have a safe weekend. Thanks, Graham.
Thanks very much.
Take care, man. We'll see you in a bit.